Winter is here, and with it, some of the coolest, quirkiest, and most creative ways people embrace the cold. Join us as we dive into 5 icy stories, Wim Hof style.
Everyone says that I'm mad, and they ask me that question, what draws me into the ice? And what amazes me is how many people follow.
High in the mountains of southern Africa, there are 15 fearless swimmers competing in one of the most extreme races on Earth. With no wetsuits, no protection, they must swim a single kilometer in water cold enough to kill them. They call it a race, but most would call it insanity. As founder Ram Barkai will tell you, the members of the International Ice Swimming Association don't just battle to the finish, they're fighting to stay alive.
Swimming cold water has become my passion. Okay, we need another task force for these ones, eh? The ice was the icing on the cake. I find the ice extreme. I'm attracted to extreme challenges. No doubt, swimming in ice is a dangerous sport. It's not adrenaline junkie, polar bear type of experience. You actually have to swim 1 kilometer extremely fast in water of under 5 degrees. In just Speedo, goggles and a cap. These are the rules. I founded the International Ice Swimming Association. I'd love it to become a proper international recognized sport.
It's a double hit physiologically. It's an ice swim, which is challenging, and you're at altitude. Most of you have not been at altitude before.
When we're in Africa, in the mountain of Lesotho, and we found ice, and we're having the national South African Ice Championship.
Nowhere in southern Africa you're going to find water 5 degrees or below except for here.
Last year we had about 13 national championships like this. We have now swimmers in 28 countries around the world.
We're doing an ice swim in Africa, which is a bit ridiculous if you ask anyone. We also think it's ridiculous.
It's a massive mental challenge to get in that water and to perform physically for an extended period of time. To keep going takes a lot of mind power, and that's what I love. I love pushing the boundaries in these conditions.
It's not a sport where you have to be lean, mean and beautiful to win. You have to have around 20% body fat. You have to be fit, you have to train, so your body and your mind know how to deal with the shock. Panic is the #1 killer.
Initially, you can't tell if the water is very hot or very cold. It almost burns. The first 3 minutes is painful, and then you sort of settle in and everything goes numb.
Their body temperature starts to drop. Getting into this water poses the hazard of hypothermia to the athlete.
It causes havoc in your body, to your blood pressure, to your heart rate, to your oxygen, to your brain.
There's only one thing that goes through your mind: breathe. The ice takes your breath away, and if you don't control it, you can get into the world of trouble.
The average time in the water is 15 to 20 minutes, which is still safe. It's a hugely mental sport. For me, it's mind over matter.
It's not you racing against someone else, it's about you against the ice and the cold, and basically competing against your own mind.
Cold starts to affect the function of the nervous system, and so confusion, delirium sometimes happens. The athletes can start to hallucinate, or they can have amnesia.
If you feel dizzy and disorientated, you should get out. It's such a hard decision to make, you know, you're so close to finish.
As you come out of the water, the brain starts releasing blood from the core. That process is what we call the after drop. In 10 minutes, and suddenly your core body temperature can drop from 34 to 30, and that causes a havoc. If you haven't been there, it's a scary experience.
Good job. Cover my legs.
We have a proper ICU, doctors and recovery unit to make sure that no one goes over the edge. It's literally like going up the roller coaster, you know, that feeling, slowly, 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 and suddenly you get there. And when you get there, you see people's eyes go like, we call it the devil's look. They know everything what's going on. They hear everything, they just can't respond. You are in a massive sort of tunnel vision focused on hanging in there.
You know, we want some more chocolate.
Bit of life coming back into me. I don't know if that's a good thing though, because it's all cold.
I'm starting to turn the corner, so I'm feeling better about life. Now I want to live.
After the dust has settled, you feel like a champion.
Before they start swimming, everyone asks himself, why am I doing this? What am I trying to prove to myself? Guys, well done to all of you. I know it wasn't easy, and I know that not everyone finished. I think it's part of the process. Then after I finish, I can't wait for the next adventure. And I'm high for days. My big dream is to get it to the Winter Olympic Games as a sport. It'll be my legacy. The beauty of what we're doing here today is to show that if there is a will, there's a way.
Now for a story with a bit more chill.
Making drawings on land on quite a large scale is something people have been doing for thousands of years. I'm Simon Beck, and I make drawings in the snow. It started as a bit of fun, but gradually it's taken over my life. A ballpark estimate of footsteps, about 5,000 steps in an hour. A big drawing, 2 hours measuring, 8 hours work, you're looking at 40,000 steps. I started doing it as an easier alternative to hiking up the mountain when I wanted some exercise. You're starting with a drawing on a piece of paper, or else a drawing in your mind. Just treating it a bit like an orienteering map. You're just going a certain distance in a certain direction, determining distances by counting paces. It's a very physical exercise. It's equivalent to a long day's walking in the hills when you make one of these big drawings. I'm just about the only person in the world doing anything like it.
Has all that walking made you thirsty? Time for a trip to the bar.
In the cold, white north of Minnesota, there's a place that will get you warm after a long day on the ice. You can do some fishing or have a tasty beverage. And it's something of a dream for Josie.
I've always wanted to own a neighborhood bar, and we finally do. Mine's just sitting on a frozen lake. Ice fishing is a way of life around here for people. It gets so cold, below 0 temps quite often, which allows us to drive and put houses out and drill holes in the lake and fish.
When it gets cold enough in the early winter, Josie's husband goes out and tests the ice to make sure it's thick enough. If it is, they can put the bar together, and then the ice hole can open.
The ice here is so thick that this bar sits on top of it. To come to our bar on the lake, you just drive your car out on the ice and park. We don't have a parking lot, you just park wherever you want, walk in and have a beer. People like to fish and drink beer, and from our bar here, you can do that all at the same time. The local favorite drink here is called the minnow shot. People will actually take a live minnow, which is fishing bait, and put it into their shot and drink it.
Oh boy. Oh yeah! Oh, he wiggled a little bit. Yeah.
As delicious as that seafood beverage sounds, people come just because the fact that the bar exists is pretty amazing.
People's reactions to this bar are from crazy to they don't understand it to that's the coolest thing ever. They come from all over the world to see it. It's very seasonal. We're only open 20 days. If you're ever near Lake Lida, drive out on the ice, park, come into the bar, and grab a pole.
Would you try a minnow shot? Now get your night goggles ready. We're heading into the dark.
Darkness is the canvas and the light is my brush. With light painting, you can create new worlds into darkness. My name is Hannu Huhtamo and I paint with light. I live in Finland. We have amazing nature here. We have long summer nights that are warm and full of light. But on the opposite, there is also this dark part. It's called polar night. It starts in December and it lasts for about 50 days. The sun doesn't rise above the horizon at all. And for a light painter, that is quite good. I do long exposure photography, which is a photographic technique that allows me to draw with light. The exposure times can vary from seconds to hours, and the idea is to use the light sources as brushes or pencils, and the dark surroundings are the canvas. When I start, I might do some sketches on paper. After that, I go to the location. I search for details that I want to emphasize. With some light treatment, it will start to look like a completely new place. Going to a dark woods or to an abandoned house, you first think that, oh, I don't want to go there because there's just so nasty looking dark places. But through light painting, I have examined these places and they look beautiful. You see the place differently.
From one art form to another, meet the master of an unlikely snowy sport. Ski ballet.
Pop quiz. Who is this? If you answered Olympic gold medalist freestyle skier Johnny Mosley, you are correct. It is Johnny Mosley.
Hey, I'm Johnny Mosley.
Here's another question. What exactly is Johnny Mosley doing right now? It's strange. It's as if Johnny is figure skating on skis. What you are witnessing is a rare glimpse of a lost athletic art that was once the pinnacle of freestyle skiing. It had judges, it had costumes, it had fans. It had a name, ski ballet. In the beginning, young freestyle skiers didn't just want to ski down, they wanted to ski fun. And they invented a new sport that would eventually make it all the way to the Olympic Games. Ski ballet was born.
Yeah, it just looked like a bunch of crazy stuff on skis.
This is three-time world champion skier Bob Howard, a legend in ski ballet when the sport was in its 1980s heyday.
What they didn't know then, they don't know now, ski ballet is very difficult. I'd like to demonstrate when my knees are shot, so I brought in Johnny Mosley.
I'm Johnny Mosley.
They know. Ski ballet was a form of freestyle skiing, and it had a couple different incorporations. It had pole flips, spins, linking tricks, and we put it all together with rock and roll music. Early on, we did some moves that were basically flex tricks where you go off your tips. And what it is you flex your tip up and you spin around. Those are pretty difficult because you're balancing and you can hurt yourself real quickly. You can dislocate your knee in an instant. Here's Johnny doing a 720, which is 2 times around. We copied this from ice skating. And then he even goes to a higher level where he goes to a 900, which means he spins around 2 times, lands backwards.
The lights in ski ballet were never brighter than when it was a demonstration sport in the Olympics in 1988 and 1992. But ski ballet was not long for this world. The spotlight dimmed when the games dropped it in 1994, and the whole sport went fully dark not long after.
The DNA of ski ballet is actually in everything that freestyle is today. All the spins and moves you see in the slope style and the big air, we did all that from the very beginning. That's why I teach my students ski ballet moves.
What I'm gonna do, I come in and stop, and I just pull.
So the next time you're on a chairlift and you spy Johnny Mosley down below, clad in a retro onesie and painting a ski masterpiece on a canvas of virgin snow, take a moment to realize that you're glimpsing the flight of a phoenix called ski ballet.